Hi everybody. I want to talk today for a moment about something called chronoception. We know our five senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. Speaking of which, it's kind of hard to see. Thank you, son. Sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. Five senses. We actually have, I think, 21 senses. And one of them is called chronoception, and it's our ability to sense the passage of time. And I'm talking about this today because it's November 5th, and 28 years ago today, my mother had an aneurysm and suddenly died, and it was a very traumatic experience for me. And I've just started recently owning and talking about in a more public way that I've had PTSD since that event occurred when I was 11 years old. So around this time of year, for the last 8 years or so, I've had a harder time because my chronoception nervous system sensors, I think, remember this time of year. And so I'll be a little more in a struggle with depression or anxiety or like PTSD flashbacks and things. And I wouldn't normally post this, but I'm getting more vocal, which is fine, because in trauma, we don't have a voice. Our voice shuts down. And as I overcome this trauma that's plagued me for close to 3 decades, I haven't had a voice in the way that I've wanted to have a voice, and I'm coming out more publicly with my voice, and it feels good. Whew. So I'm definitely feeling nervous yet alive, and I actually notice my gut is opening up. So why am I saying all this? What really had me vocalize all of this is because I had a client come in. There's 2 reasons why. The first one is I think it's important that we don't beat ourselves up because we're not over it yet. Because our body remembers, and we have sensors that pick up the passage of time, and it runs a memory. And it doesn't mean anything's wrong with us or we're not bad. It's just something that I think is helpful to be aware of, that our body remembers things and it plays those tapes again. And it shows up in our bodies because I had a client this week who pretty much on the 1-year anniversary of his back surgery, his back went into a complete shift, and his sciatic pain down his leg, aching, cramping, all kinds of medications, and he's considering surgery again. And we're going to work together to see if he can not have surgery again, because what if it's his circuitry remembers and then goes into that protective pattern again? That's been really fascinating to watch, and I can share more about that another time. What's my point in all this? To be sharing my journey a little bit more in hopes that it helps shed light on yours, because as I know and understand my own nervous system, it's less scary and there's less threat, which lets me live more in my green trees. Happy Squinty Sunday.